What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, which means that's time for another live Q&A. As always, I'm your host, Paul J Lipsky from dropshippingtitans.com, here to teach you everything you need to know about dropshipping on different marketplaces like eBay and Facebook Marketplace. So if that interests you, if you have questions about that, that is what this live chat is all about. Come join us live, subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. And then jump into the live chat. Let me know how you're doing and what your question is about dropshipping. And I will do my very best to answer those questions for you. As always, in the description of this video down below are links to a bunch of great resources. There's all the different software that I use to run my dropshipping businesses, links to all of them for you to check out. There's my course, my eBay dropshipping course, my Facebook Marketplace dropshipping course as well. There's a wait list for it because it's currently closed for enrollment, but I will be opening it back up next month. So if you want to be the first one to know about that, make sure to get on the wait list, and that way you don't miss out on it. Okay, let's jump into the chat and see what questions everyone has today. Kared says, since you started selling on Facebook Marketplace and shops, how many times have your accounts been suspended or banned at all? That has not happened to me on Facebook at all. It's not something that I've ever seen to be an issue for any of my accounts. Certainly Marketplace, the only way really Marketplace can get banned, I guess there's two ways that it could happen, is if one, your entire Facebook account gets shut down. And I've only had one person actually reach out to me and say that that happened to them. And when we started digging into it, they kind of revealed that they were doing a bit of some other stuff that may have been kind of considered sketchy that might have caused that to happen. And then the other way it could potentially happen is if suddenly the shipping option got removed for you. You would still be able to sell on Marketplace, you just wouldn't have the shipping option. And I haven't seen that happen either. So with Facebook Marketplace, no issues there. Shops, the only thing I could see being an issue with shops is potentially when you're signing up for a shop, I should say, you have to get your Facebook page and shop approved. And I guess it is theoretically possible for them to revoke that at a later point. But again, I haven't seen that happen. It certainly hasn't happened for my Facebook shop. So nothing like that at all. And in general, we just see Facebook just being a lot more lenient with different rules and things like that. They do want to make sure that their customers are actually getting their items. But if you're providing basic customer service, uploading tracking numbers, following up with missing orders and things like that, just staying on top of everything, there shouldn't be any issues when it comes to Facebook. They are just a lot more lenient than other platforms, certainly ones like Amazon, which if you're doing merchant fulfilled is a lot more strict. So if you stay on top of it, you should be good with Facebook. And even in their terms of service, there's absolutely no opposition that they have in there to drop shipping of any kind. So you should be totally in the clear to be doing this. George says, hey, Paul, I am from New York. When I'm selling on Facebook Marketplace, it's asked me to input a location where the item is located. Do I have to put I'm from New York, or can I change it if I want to get more sales? You can change it. It doesn't matter where you state the item comes from or where the item is located, rather. That really only matters if you are selling the item only locally. So when you list an item onto Facebook Marketplace, as you're going through the listing process, it's going to ask you, hey, how are you going to fulfill this order? In other words, how are you going to get the customer their item? There's two possibilities for Facebook Marketplace. The first is local delivery, where you would actually have to go and meet up with the buyer in person, hand them the item, they hand you cash. We don't do that as dropshippers. That's not what dropshipping is. The second one is shipping option. And that's where you will actually upload a tracking number, a supplier shipping the item for you, and you don't actually have to meet up in person. So it's the second one that you want. You want the shipping option. But when Facebook first started with Facebook Marketplace, they only had the local delivery option. So you had to put where you were located, because if you were selling an item and let's say it was this water bottle and you were located in New York, well, you only want to be able to target customers that are close to you geographically, maybe within 20, 30 miles. You don't want to be selling to someone in California because then you would have to drive all the way to California to deliver it to them. That just doesn't make any sense, right? So that's really why it asks you where the location is. It's just for when people are searching for items they could pick up locally. So that's kind of a relic of that. You still have to put it in even if you're just doing shipping. So that's why I'm saying it really doesn't matter if all you're doing is the shipping option. But you can certainly change it if you want. We have experimented with that and seeing if changing the geographic location, even with just having the shipping option on, would make a difference. And we have seen some promising things there, even though it really doesn't make any sense. D says, hey, hope all is well. I'm having problems using Amazon TBA tracking numbers on some sites. Can I use online sites to create tracking numbers so that funds can be released faster? So Amazon TBA tracking numbers, what are those? When you're buying stuff from Amazon, maybe you've noticed that sometimes it gets delivered by UPS or FedEx, but a lot of times, more and more, the item's actually delivered by one of those blue Amazon delivery vans. And when it gets delivered through that, the tracking number is an Amazon tracking number. It's Amazon's fulfillment service, or their delivery service, I should say. So those tracking numbers usually aren't accepted by a lot of platforms like eBay. So yeah, you would have to do convert them or use an online site to create tracking numbers. How many items a day should you be uploading when selling on eBay? I hate this question. Sorry, Ryan. Nothing against you. And the reason I hate this question is because it is impossible to answer. It's not a bad question. It's just I hate answering it, if that makes sense. It's impossible to answer. And here's why. When you're first starting out on eBay, or impossible to give a straightforward list. I can't just say list this number of items a day. When you're first starting out, you don't want to be listing a lot of items. In fact, when you first start an eBay account, you don't want to list any items at all, really. But as time goes on, after your account's been primed, you can start listing some items, just a few a day or a couple a day, a couple the next day, a couple the next day. So you want to start out really, really slow as you're adding in items at first. Once your store is properly primed and it's ready to go, the number of items you list, it really depends on you and the way you do your product research. I'm a big fan of doing really in-depth product research to finding the best items. So even if my VA only lists 15, sometimes even 10 items a day, I'm happy with that because as long as those 10 items hit everything on the checklist, we're good. Other people, they don't spend don't do as thorough of a job, I guess you could say, or they're not as discriminating as I am when it comes to picking products. So they might list 25 items a day or 30 or sometimes more items a day. So that really depends on you. I know some people who are extreme with this. I know some people who have eBay stores with only about 200 items, which might sound like a lot to you, but for someone who's been doing this for years and years and they only have 200 products, that's really not a lot. But they're really, really well-researched items, very well optimized, and they've just done a really good job of curating these really good products for their store, and they only have about 200 or less. I know a couple people with less. So again, it really depends on you. In the beginning, again, go slowly, but once you get past that phase, you want to kind of focus on listing more. But once you start to get better and identifying the good products, you don't have to list as many every day. You can list fewer items and make more money because you're really focusing on the winning products. Greg says, is it possible to grow a six-figure income when dropshipping on Facebook Marketplace and shops like you can dropshipping on eBay? I've seen it done. Obviously results vary. I have to give that kind of disclaimer, but I have seen people do it for sure. Sabrina, I'm not sure what you mean. You said, do you think this will last for a long time? All my items were okay and not going against Facebook rules. Any tips? What will last? What you talk? What do you mean? I think one of your messages didn't go through. I'm excited for the AutoDS shop integration. Where's the rest of the question? Can't wait to try it out. Yeah, so with Facebook shops, so there's two ways to sell on Facebook Marketplace. The first is you're selling directly on the Facebook Marketplace using your own Facebook profile. Straightforward way to do it. Or you can do it with Facebook Shops. Facebook Shops has a ton of benefits. I prefer it because you really get like full software automation with it. You get VAs can access it. You can run it as a business. You tend to get more sales with shops. All the items are still ending up on Marketplace, but it's kind of a different way to do it. And I really find it to be a lot better. There's a few different software that works with shops. I've been using FBM Fox, but AutoDS has just come out with an integration with shops as well. I haven't gotten to try it yet because I'm still using FBM Fox at the moment. But it's already out. The AutoDS shops integration is already out. Hey, Johnny, are you at JFK Airport? Algeria, what is up, Jack? Eric says he has 1,500 Facebook listing button weekly views. I'm not sure what you mean by that. 700, but only 700 of your listings get views. So I wouldn't worry too much about views. It's really sales are all that matter. I know a lot of people like to look at their views, and I just don't find it very helpful. I like to look at, are my sales where I want them to be? If not, something needs to change, and then you can start looking at how to increase that. But when it comes to Facebook Marketplace, the only two things that really matter are, one, you're finding the right products, and two, you're optimizing them. You have to do those two things. And obviously actually listing enough products. So those are the three things that really matter. So if you have 1,500 listings, but you just threw them up there, it was like a bulk upload, that used to work, but it doesn't work anymore. You actually want to go in and do research and find winning products and list those products up for sale yourself, and then optimize them, every single one of them. If you're not doing those two things, then those 1,500 listings, is kind of just a waste, in my opinion, at this point. You really want to make sure you do both of those things. Anthony says his course is great for eBay. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate that. Hey again, Jack. Gadget says, I'm facing Amazon suspension issue. Looks like your seller account, you have issues with a suspension. Yeah, I'm sorry. You should reach out to you can try to write a plan of action yourself and send it in and see what happens. If that doesn't work, then you can reach out to one of the services that does Amazon suspension. So I know Matt Gambro, he does Amazon suspension help and has a really good track record. So I think that's AMZ Assassins. They have a suspension service that you might want to check out. Okay, Gavin says, do you have any ways to unlock the shipping option on Facebook Marketplace? Yeah, so when you start selling on Facebook Marketplace, like I was saying, there's two ways you could sell. You can either have the item delivered locally, or you can ship it to them. You have to have that shipping option. Not everyone has that shipping option. The way you get it is if you have a Facebook account that's older and you've never had any issues with that account. In other words, you've never tried to run Facebook ads and had your ads account shut down, then you should be fine. Most people, and you have to be here in the United States. Most people here in the United States, when they start doing Facebook Marketplace dropshipping, they will have the shipping option right away. Okay? If you're outside the United States, you might not have it. You probably won't. And if you've ever had your ads account shut down, then you're not going to have it either. So my advice is, if you are here in the United States and you don't have the shipping option, I would first, are you using a brand new Facebook account? Because if you are, I wouldn't be using that. Use your Facebook account, the one you've had for years probably. Use that one. And that one should work. You should be able to have the shipping option on it. If you're outside the United States, I know they are rolling it out, but I don't know when it is for every country. And there are exceptions to this. Like, I have a student who, she had a Facebook account, she's had it for a while, and she had no shipping option. So on a whim, she created a new Facebook account, and the shipping option was available on it. So I don't know why that is. That just doesn't make any sense, but I guess she got lucky. How do you do product research without wasting money? Okay, do you mean like wasting money on the actual product research, or wasting money on products that will never sell? Or I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. But when it comes to product research, you can do it fully manually. And the way you do that is you can actually go onto eBay and see what's already sold. You can see how many times these items have sold, and you can see when they've sold. So if you see items on there that are being dropshipped, that you've identified as dropshipped items, and you click through a bunch of times and it'll say, hey, this item sold yesterday, 2 days ago, and 3 days ago. It sold 3 times at least in the past month. Hey, that's a really good product. That's a product that you can sell yourself as well. So that's kind of the product research you want to do. And you can do that all manually. But if you use a software like Zeek Analytics, which I use to do product research, then it gives you all that information up front. You just plug in one thing and it says, hey, these items, we're going to rank them from the best selling to the worst selling. Right at the top, you can see this item sold 8 times in the past month and 40 times since it's been around, like for the past year or so, whatever. And it will also mark it. Hey, this is an item that's being drop shipped. So it tells you all that with just one click. Instead of you having to click through it, everything gives you a whole spreadsheet of different items. So even though Zeek Analytics does cost money, first of all, if you use my affiliate link down below, you do get a free trial of Zeek Analytics. But if you do end up paying for it, it does cost money, but it saves you a ton of time and a ton of money because it gives you so much information on hot selling products. Do I think eBay dropshipping business is too saturated? I don't. And I don't think any e-commerce is too saturated at all, because even though there are new sellers coming on every day, there are so many more buyers, new buyers coming onto these marketplaces every single day. And the buyers that are already there are spending more money every single day as the years go on. I think the pandemic was a taste of where e-commerce is going, because if you look at all the money that's spent in the United States on consumer goods, the percentage that is spent online is actually really small. It's not even 50%. I don't even think it's 30%, somewhere in the 20s, like maybe 25 to something like that percent. So it's small compared to how much money is spent on retail. Most of it's done in person. And we know going into the future, the amount of money, the percentage that's being spent online is only going to increase. It's going to overtake regular retail eventually. And I think 2020, the pandemic kind of gave us a taste of that. But then things kind of pulled back as people started to go out in person and buy stuff again. But it's coming. And there's just going to be such a huge opportunity still, no matter which way you start selling products online. Okay. Anthony says, is it possible to have multiple Facebook stores with different EINs from my US LLCs in a way to keep them separated? I'm from Canada looking to sell on US Facebook. So this is definitely an advanced question. So the answer is you can't do this on Facebook Marketplace, like straight onto Marketplace, because right now, as far as I know, when you're selling on Facebook Marketplace, you need a social security number and not an EIN. So the only way that you can use an EIN to sell on Facebook is with a Facebook shop. Okay. But every Facebook shop needs to be tied to someone's Facebook account. So even if you have multiple shops, you still need multiple Facebook profiles for that to work. You can have multiple shops under one business on Facebook. So you might just want to go that route. Maybe you're overthinking this and making it more complicated than it needs to be. You can have multiple shops under one business on Facebook, one business manager, and you can have multiple business managers as well. So I don't know if it's necessary to have multiple LLCs unless there's a good reason for you wanting to do that. If you're running these for clients, then you would want to have them set up their stores under their profile, set up their own page, set up their own shop, and then run it for them, maybe using VPNs, or VPSs, whichever one you want to use. But in general, unless there's a specific use case for that, but you can have multiple shops, yeah. How should I go about buying single products from a wholesaler that I can trust? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, but finding a wholesaler for a dropshipping business is definitely a challenge, but it is that hurdle that helps you make money, because most people aren't going to go through the work and the time necessary in order to find a good wholesale supplier. If you are willing to do that and you put in the time and the effort to do it and you stick with it when most people give up, you'll find a good wholesale supplier. You only really need to find one or two, because with that, you can find really great products to dropship, and it's going to be hard for anyone to figure out where you're dropshipping from. They're not going to be able to copy you. And since it was hard for you to find that supplier, it's going to be hard for anyone else to do it as well. So yeah, just stick with it. You can find a good wholesale supplier and it'll be worth it. Okay. Sabrina says, I posted a product on Facebook, my Facebook marketplace, and my account was suspended. Now it's finally back, but it seems Facebook was unhappy with me since they already deleted one dog bed. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is, Sabrina. Did they tell you what was the reason? Because it's possible that usually Facebook only suspends accounts. Well, obviously, if you're posting things on your Facebook feed that I don't want to say they disagree with, but that goes against their guidelines, they might suspend your account. But that has nothing to do with Marketplace, right? On Marketplace, the only thing I think of why they would suspend you is if you're listing up something dangerous that you're not supposed to sell, or if it looks like you're not who you say you are. So if you've entered in your personal information when you set up your account, and then something's off with that, they might suspend you. Or if you suddenly log in with a weird IP address, there's some sort of security issue. I could see that happening as well. So I'm not sure what they told you, if they emailed you about that. I'm glad your account's back, but I'm not sure what the issue is. Brenda says, should you start drop shipping on eBay right away or start by selling used items around the house first to season the account? I would focus on seasoning the account, as you call it. I call it priming the account. But yeah, it helps to sell some stuff that you have around the house first to kind of establish the base for your account. And then you can do the drop shipping once things have kind of been primed. Okay, we went over this, Dylan. Use an older account for Marketplace for a shipping option. If you've ever had your ads account shut down, appeal it and try to get it back, because then the shipping option should be unlocked. Omar says, I'm learning how to clear off the metadata for the product images from the retail websites. So that way I'm fine. I wouldn't worry about this. We've seen no proof that metadata on images makes any difference. I'm not sure where that rumor started, if someone has proof to the contrary, but I haven't seen any proof that matters. If you are worried about it, you could just take screenshots of the images and then there'll be fresh metadata that's not tracked to a retailer. Is it smart to use non-branded products? It depends on what you're doing, Phaser. So if you're doing drop shipping, usually it's a better idea. Well, not a better idea. Usually you'll end up selling more unbranded products. And that's because websites like eBay, they have a program called the VERO program, VERO. It stands for Verified Rights Owner Program. And what that says is that there are some brands whose stock images and stock descriptions you are not allowed to use. So if you are drop shipping those items, basically those listings will get removed if it's a VERO brand in the VERO program. So there's plenty of brands that aren't on it, but a lot of times you'll find yourself selling unbranded products or brands that aren't on the VERO program. But other places, it's definitely fine to do. Like on Amazon, if you have a good supplier and you've become ungated in the different categories, you could sell them, especially if you're doing something like online arbitrage where you get the products yourselves, so you actually have invoices. Hey, what's up, Marjorie? Okay. Tama says, in Facebook Marketplace, is there any limitation to how much you can sell in a day or a week? No. Does eBay accept OnTrack? Yes. That's a shipping service. So it's a different one you don't see that often. But I see it sometimes with Home Depot. Ryan says, what boxes does a winning product check for you? Like if I was using a checklist. Also, how long would you expect a first sale to take? So winning products, it really just comes down to simple thing, which is it already selling? Is someone else already successfully selling that that product? So if they are, and then, so that's the first thing. And then two, if I'm able to find that from a supplier, then I'll list that. And if it's not on the VERO programs, no other red flags like that, then yeah, I'll list the product. But yeah, you can go on eBay and you can see what is already sold and how many times it's sold and how many times in the past month it's sold. And so all those are things you want to consider when you are looking at drop shipping that item yourself and listing it up for sale. Sorry, Kagri. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name with all the Kagri. Have you ever thought about making your course free or letting people pay the price after they bought the course and start dropshipping on eBay? So after they made some profit, they could pay you back? No. And the reason I would never do that is because I have given people free help before and they don't take action. And this is not just anecdotal. If you give people free information, like that is the biggest difference between what I teach here on YouTube and what is inside my course. There is a lot of free information here on YouTube. It's not everything you need to be successful, but there's a lot. But no one, I'm going to say pretty much 0% of people are going to take what is available on YouTube and actually take action on it and build a successful eBay or Facebook Marketplace dropshipping store. And that is because they have absolutely no skin in the game. When you sign up for a course, you are putting skin in the game. You are telling yourself that you are committed to doing it because you've put money behind it. And there's been studies on this, that the more money you put behind something, the more money you spend on something, the more you value it and the more you are going to take it seriously. So when people sign up for one of my courses, They have to pay money to get in, but they're more committed now. They're more committed to their own success and more committed to actually taking action because they want to make their money back. They have some skin in the game. So that is why I don't do anything for free besides what I teach here on YouTube. I'm sure there's someone out there who will take what they learn on YouTube and fill in a lot of the missing gaps and, actually take action. And, it might take them longer to be successful, but they might eventually be successful. But the percentage of people who do that, rounded to the closest whole number, is 0%. Just people don't do it until they actually commit. And this took me a while to figure out for myself, but I've seen it for myself now, where now when I want to learn something, I love buying courses and programs and coaching programs because I know that if I'm putting money behind it, putting money into it, I'm taking it more seriously. It's a commitment that I'm saying, like, this is a commitment for me. I'm actually going to take action. And in fact, the more I've raised the prices of my courses, the more successful my students have become, as strange as that is. And it's just because, if you're charging just $50 for something, some people will pay $50, and to them, that's not enough of a commitment, right? It's not enough skin in the game. So sometimes it's actually better to pay more for a course or something like that, because then you really, really will be more committed to it. But I try to make my courses pretty reasonable and not, making you pay thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay. Phaser says, when I list my product, I see other products that are the same with lower price than mine. I feel like mine won't sell because of my price being higher. Thanks. So one way that you can make your listings stand out and actually make sales is by making better titles. I have a video on this recently. I'm not sure which one it was, but in the video I show 2 products. They're exactly the same, but one used the title that was given by Walmart and the other changed the title and optimized it. And the person who optimized it was actually selling it for more money, but had more sales than the person that was priced lower. If I'm not sure which video that was, but if I find it, I'll link it. But that's proof that if you have good titles and you do the optimization, you can make sales over people that are pricing for less than you. I'll take your word for it. Omar says, Instagram's been around since 2010. I have no idea. Hem says, I just want to thank you, Paul. You changed my life. That's awesome, man. Appreciate that. Okay. What do you mean by going out of state? Like physically out of state, Edward? Strange World says, do you have any tips or platforms to sell your products as a 14-year-old? Your content really helps me, by the way. Hey, man, that's awesome. I love that you're getting into entrepreneurship so young. I wish I did. That's really cool. Yeah, so you could sell on eBay and Facebook Marketplace, but you have to do it on your parents' account. You're not going to be able to do it on your own account because you technically do have to be 18. And Amazon as well. So just be aware of that, get them, help them sign up for an account, kind of teach them what you're doing, and then, do it yourself. But yeah, I've seen people do it. Like if you look at Carter Maxwell, his channel used to be called High School Hustler, and he used to do retail arbitrage on Amazon, even though he was not even 18 yet. And that's how he did it, I'm pretty sure. I've never seen a buy now button on Facebook Marketplace from other dropshippers. I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe they don't have the shipping option. But I'm not quite understanding what you mean by that. Or you mean yours doesn't have it? Just logged in my old Facebook account. There's Marketplace, but I cannot list. Yeah, just try using it for a couple of days. I'm not sure why you can't list. I never heard of that happening. All right, you watcher man says, Hello, Paul. Great course. I just listed my first product yesterday and adding 3 more today. Let the long game begin. Congratulations, man. Yeah, just remember this is a marathon. Okay, it's not sprint. I know it's like an overused saying, but it's so true. I mean, look, guys, and I want to say this because sometimes I forget because it's been so long since I started doing this. When you first start, it kind of sucks. Okay, doing like product research, learning how product research works, it kind of sucks. You're going to be on your computer maybe for hours, just like typing away, trying to find products. And you're like, I don't get this. Like Paul makes this look so easy. Other YouTubers make it look so easy. And I'm here and I can't even find one product. That is completely normal. Lots of people experience that. That's how I felt at first too. I was like, what the heck am I doing wrong? I'm doing hours of research. I'm not finding any products. How are these other people, how do they have thousands of products that they've found? It just sucks in the beginning. You got to put the time in though. I wouldn't measure your success or your goals by how many products you're finding in the beginning. I would do it by time. Say, okay, I did 2 hours today and it was like a solid 2 hours. I wasn't distracted by my phone or watching TV and like pretending to type and being like zoned out looking at the TV. No, like I was focused for 2 hours. I really put time in and I feel like I didn't get any products, but I put in those 2 hours. And if you keep doing that, I know it doesn't make sense in many ways, but if you keep doing that every single day or, keep on a schedule a few times a week, putting in the hours, eventually you're going to start to say, oh, this is starting to make sense. Oh, I'm starting to find products. And it's going to get easier and easier and easier, but you have to put in the time and it will suck in the beginning. You are going to feel like this doesn't work and I don't understand how it could work, but it does work. Okay. You just got to put in time. Also, can you use 2 Facebook accounts with 1 IP? Yeah, I mean, so you're not allowed to have 2 Facebook accounts for a single person. Facebook only allows 1 Facebook account per person. So I haven't heard of anyone getting in trouble for this, but theoretically, if you have 2 Facebook accounts, Facebook could shut one down or do something to you. I don't know what they would do, but that's theoretically possible. So I wouldn't risk it. Just do 1 Facebook account. But yeah, you can have 2 Facebook accounts with 1 IP address. I mean, think about it. Families share a computer and there might be 3 or 4 people in the house, all with different Facebook accounts coming from the same IP address. Jessica says, I purchased your course about a year ago, the eBay course. I stopped about halfway through because some things came up. Any advice getting back into eBay dropshipping? Should I use the same account? Yeah, Jessica, that's okay. Sometimes students, I get this question sometimes, they have things that have come up in their life that interrupt them, whatever it is. We all have things going on in our life. That's totally fine. So first of all, I don't know if you are, but don't be hard on yourself about that. It would have been great for you to get started a year ago, but life happens. And sometimes life is more important than making money. So getting back into it, yes, you could definitely use the same account. I would use that same account, but start the whole course over. Okay, go through it from the beginning. Obviously, you won't have to sign up for an account, but go through the settings. The course, there's a number of reasons for that. One, just so that you have fresh in your mind everything you need, but also because the course has been updated. If you joined a year ago, it's been updated a couple times since then. There's been a bunch of changes I've made to the course to update it. As things on eBay change, with software change, lots of things to look at. So I would definitely just go through the whole thing and just kind of start over, but use that same account. Okay, CD says, my client is from the US. He hired me on Fiverr for the Facebook Marketplace VA. He purchased AutoDS. Now, when he will give me access to AutoDS, do I need to get a VPS to get access to his Facebook account? So that's cool. You're a VA. CD, you should ask your client exactly what your client wants you to do. But there's a lot you can do with just AutoDS. So you can just log into AutoDS and list items in there, and you never actually have to get access to their Facebook account. Now, if they want you to do more like customer service and all that sort of stuff, seeing orders, then yeah, you will have to get access to their Facebook Marketplace account. One other thing you could do before I get to that, ask them maybe to try setting up a Facebook shop, because if they set up a Facebook shop, that is super easy for you to do as a VA, because you can just get you can get VA access to their shop without getting access to their full Facebook their full Facebook account. So maybe ask them if they want to go that route. Also, Facebook Shops is just a lot better than Facebook Marketplace. So that would be my first recommendation. But if they want to use Facebook Marketplace and want you to be able to access it, then they will have to give you their Facebook username and password. And I would recommend a VPN for it. The one I use is IP Burger. I don't know if my link for it is down below. If not, I got to start adding them to videos because I talk about them enough. So maybe my VA can remind me to do that. But IP Burger is great because they can get a dedicated fresh VPN. So it's a VPN, it's an IP address that only your client and you will use to access that account. So your client will start using it for a little bit, log in a bunch of times with it, and then they'll give you access to that VPN as well, so that when you log into Facebook, it shows the same IP address as well. If you're going to go Facebook Marketplace route, that is what I would do out of an abundance of caution. Hey, what is up? Lakeland. Okay. Oh, Sabrina says, my post with the mattress was against community standards on spam. Weird. Well, did you post it inside a group? If you posted it in a group, that could be what happened. So when you post items on Facebook Marketplace, they're going into Marketplace, but there's also the option to have your listing posted in different groups. If you post it in the wrong group, that could be why it happened. So that might be something we want to take another look at, whether it's a good idea to be posting in those groups or not, for reasons like that. It could have just been also a bot that just messed up. The bots aren't perfect, and maybe that's why they brought your account back when it was manually reviewed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anthony says, such a good point. I feel people who pay for it will commit to recoup the investment. Excellent mindset. Yeah. That's exactly what I was trying to say. And it's definitely been the case for me as well. That's why I am happy to, when I'm serious about something, to pay for a course or pay for coaching or something like that. You know, it's one of the reasons why I will always belong to a gym, because even if I get weights at home or I have free access to some sort of workout, you know, when I'm paying for a gym every month, I have to justify that. That's kind of my mindset. I know a lot of people, well, yeah, let me say this. I have to be able to justify paying the $30 or whatever every single month to go for a gym membership by actually going to the gym. Now, the problem is that when you join a gym that's like $10 a month, like Planet Fitness, they actually expect most of their members not to show up. And they know most people won't show up just because it's only $10. See, it's not enough of a commitment. So this is why some people, they need a personal trainer and they're willing to pay hundreds of dollars a month for a personal trainer. Because if you're paying that much, you know, you better be getting some results. It's like a commitment, right? So sometimes the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. Okay, answered this one already. Can I dropship in USA Marketplace using USA suppliers on eBay without using VPS or IP? I'm not sure because I only have experience selling as a US citizen here in the United States. So not sure. Are you using AutoDS's automatic dispatch? If yes, do you have a good experience with it? So I think you mean their auto ordering. For some suppliers, AutoDS, if you're using AutoDS's full API, it can actually pull in the order information and order items for you from Amazon and Walmart. I don't use this feature. I've heard good things about it. If you're drop shipping from Amazon is pretty much the only way to drop ship from Amazon, because if you use your own Amazon accounts, those Amazon accounts will get shut down. So AutoDS prevents that from happening. They have enough accounts. They know how to do it. So if you're drop shipping from Amazon to eBay, it's pretty much the only way to do it. But then you would have to use API. This is something, I guess you're asking, what do you use for it? A lot of people use zip code. A lot of people use multiple locations for the item location. Marjorie says, I can vouch for the committed. It's true. Go buy the course. It will change your life if you put in the work. And I agree to that. You have to put in the work. All right, so we went over the shipping option, Gavin. Strange says, the way I think is, if I don't make it yet, I have already had experience with drop shipping. I'm always open to learn new things. Yeah. Is there a student discount on your course? No, there's no student discount or military. I did have one at one point, and I had some people that I think were abusing it, unfortunately, and there's no way for me to really prove that. So no, we don't do any sort of discount like that. Can I still do online arbitrage on eBay and pretty much any platform? Yeah, I mean, you could do it on eBay, you can do it on Amazon. Amazon is a better place to do online arbitrage. If you guys aren't familiar with that, it's actually very similar to dropshipping, OA, as it's called. So what it is you order items from websites, Target, maybe Walmart.com, Walgreens.com, different websites. The items come to your house first. Once you get them in your house, then you repackage them and send them to Amazon FBA's, to Amazon's warehouse through their FBA program. And then if someone buys it on Amazon, Amazon will fulfill the order for you so that you don't have to worry about it. So that's what online arbitrage is. So you see, it's very similar to drop shipping in many ways, except you're buying the products up front. But you're still buying from retail websites. You're still having someone else fill the orders for you, which is Amazon FBA. So it's a really cool business model. And you can do it on Amazon. You can do it on eBay, but in that case, you would have to hold the items at home and then actually ship them out yourself once they sell. Hey, what's up, Luke? Thanks, appreciate it. Rot Top says, can you recommend a very good US supplier to work with on eBay? So if you're using retail suppliers, then if you're using a repricer like AutoDS, it will tell you all the retail suppliers that they work with. Those suppliers are on that list for a reason. It's because different sellers have said, hey, I want to work with this supplier. I'm getting good products from them. I'm making a lot of money from them. AutoDS, will you work with them? And they'll integrate it with their software. So that's where I would start if you're doing retail drop shipping. If you're doing wholesale, I can't recommend a supplier because that'd be giving away, how I make money. One of the secrets to wholesale drop shipping is finding a good supplier. And if you find a good supplier, that is what makes a difference. You just really need one or two good suppliers to really make a wholesale drop shipping business. And if you give that away, then someone could just come and steal all your sales from you, basically. All right. I saw in one of your videos where you bought a $45 item and sold it on eBay for $65-ish and made $3 profit. I'm not sure when that was. I'm not sure what video that was. Sometimes you only make $3 profit. Sometimes you make a lot more, but it's really about volume. You sell enough of those, you sell 15 of those, you're starting to get up there, right? You sell 33 of those, now you've just had $100 profit, right? So, those things add up. Yeah, so I went over this product research. I have a lot of videos on product research as well, so you might want to search for some of those. There's my IP Burger link. Thanks, man. So I don't really sell. I sell a little bit on Marketplace, but I sell mostly on shops now. I really only have a little bit on Marketplace just so I can keep up with it. So so my course is relevant and up to date, and my videos are up to date as well. But I'm really focused on Facebook shops. Yes, I talk about in my course how to make eBay accounts without suspension. But again, the course is really designed for people who live here in the United States, have a social security number, and are selling on ebay.com. If you're outside the United States, you can sell on ebay.com. I have students who do it, but there's going to be missing gaps in the course. I'm not going to lie about that for people who are outside the United States, because that's not what the course is focused on. And that's just based on my own experience, right? I live in the United States. I'm a U.S. citizen. I have a social security number. I have a U.S. bank account. So it doesn't really actually matter if you're a U.S. citizen, but you need the other stuff to have a Facebook account. Sorry, we're talking about an eBay account. I meant to say eBay the whole time. So without that, you're not gonna be able to set one up, and that is, what I have being here in the United States. You can do it from outside the United States, but like let's say you have a social security number, you have a bank account in the United States, but you're just not in the USA at the moment. Yeah, you can do that. You just I would probably get a VPN of some kind to make it look like you're in the United States. But even that's not totally necessary in many ways. But it's going to be harder if you're not actually, a citizen here or living here. Eddie says I started dropshipping last 2 months on eBay. I haven't had any orders. I listed only one item. Getting discouraged. Yeah, man. So you got to list more. One's not enough. What if that one item you listed isn't a good product? And it probably isn't. You got to list more. And it's like I was saying before, it's going to suck at first. You have to do product research, but you have to put in the time, okay? And if you're putting in the time, you're going to find products. And that's a really cool thing about drop shipping as opposed to other things like FBA, where you have to buy the products up front. You can list the products, and even if they're bad products, it's okay. It just means they're not going to sell. It's not going to cost you money, right? So you can if you're like, I'm not sure if this product's going to be good, it's kind of on the fence, put it up for sale. What does it matter? Okay, it's not going to cost you anything. So that's why there's really no excuse for not listing more products, right? You only have one item listed. You should definitely have to list more. Edward wants to know if he should just wipe out all the items in the store and start over. Yeah, man, if you're not making sales on the items that you have, you can try that. I mean, some of those items might be seasonal ones that are, not selling anymore because the season has changed, or it could be something else. So it might be a good idea just to start with a clean slate. Some people have said they've seen success deleting all their items for the store, waiting a day or two, and then start listing again. When I try setting up the shipping option on a Facebook shop, when I try to set up shipping on Facebook for a shop, I get this message: you do not have admin permissions. So you have to contact the person who does own that page, because it's not you, and they're the ones who have to do it or give you permission to do it. You can try both Walmart or Banggood. I'm not a huge fan anymore of drop shipping from China. I tried it for a little bit, but I prefer to use US-based suppliers. Thanks, Omar. I don't sell on Shopify, so I can't really help you out there. Gavin says, I find good suppliers doing product research on eBay, but I struggle to find their supplier. How would I find out the supplier? So Gavin, what you want to do is you want to only look at stores that are drop shipping. There's a good chance, Gavin, that the seller that you're looking at, they're not drop shipping that product. So you want to find other drop shippers on eBay, see what they're selling successfully, and then sell those same products yourself, okay? If you're just going onto eBay and seeing what items are being successful, well, most people on eBay are not drop shipping. So if you're seeing a winning product, chances are it's not a drop shipping product. That's why we always start by looking for the other drop shippers. Thanks, Paul. You cleared a lot of my confusions about accessing the Facebook account. I'm in Pakistan working as a VA remotely. So it means I can list products with AutoDS directly without getting access to Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, that's kind of a good way to do it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Please be sure to smash that thumbs up button on your way out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Ask your friends to subscribe. Ask your mother, your father, your friends to subscribe, because when we get to 100,000, we're going to be doing a massive giveaway. Yeah, it's going to be a little while, but not too far away on that. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. If you have any questions that weren't answered, make sure to come to the next live Q&A. We do them every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. If you come in and ask your question right away, like Kared did here, then I'll be able to answer it for you. We never get to all the questions just because there are so many of them. So thanks, everyone, for hanging out. Again, down below in the description, a bunch of resources for you. All the software that I use, my eBay dropshipping course comes with a 30-day, no questions asked, seriously, no questions asked, money back guarantee. And get on the wait list for the Facebook course because it's going to be opening back up pretty soon. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. See you next time.